What's good with you too? The convict perspective with your boy Flacco.
And your big homie Raw.
So today we're going to discuss a very delicate subject. We're going to talk about the brothers that are on death row. Fellow Familianos, Bobby Silent Lopez, Herminio Spenquio Serna, and Huevo Trujeke.
Yeah, these gentlemen, they were involved in an indictment in San Jose years back, and they, as far as I know and as far as anybody's ever said, they never gave up any information. They were in good standing. They played everything by the book, and they ended up receiving the death penalty, all three of them, for their conviction in some murders and some RICO stuff that happened back in the days in San Jose and the surrounding areas. And man, the reason we're doing this on them is because this is an example of, the lack of love and the nearsightedness and greed that, happens from this organization, man. These brothers made the ultimate sacrifice. Everybody's talking about all the sacrifices that they make and all the work they put in for the organization. And it happens every day. But, here's a prime example of three made men, three familianos in good standing, never did anything wrong. And, when they got the death penalty, man, they hit the adjustment center in San Quentin, death row. And, man, they were left there on their own. Nobody wanted to help them, send them funds from a regiment. Nobody, the organizational main bank wasn't, which is there for members like that. Man, they weren't seeing anything, man. And, actually I was a part of a question about that when I was in the Bay as to what was going on with them guys. And, the question was kind of brushed to the side like it was an irrelevant question. And so being who I was and what I am and who I was around, you don't question things further, so it was just looked at as a dead issue. And, I never understood it, but I never really dwelled on it either because, that's one of those above your pay grade kind of things. And I was very fresh into the organization then, didn't want to rock the boat. But one of the brothers passed away a while back, you know what I mean? They don't know if he did it intentionally or, he accidentally overdosed or whatnot, but one of them's no longer with us, and he might have took the easy way out knowing he was never going to see the light of day again and didn't have nothing to look forward to. Who knows what was going on with that man. But the other two individuals are still in there, and when I was there, and even people who've been involved more recently than me have confirmed that these guys have been on like nothing coming status. And it's weird that, you think you're going to be looked after, talk about the ultimate sacrifice. They gave their lives. They're still alive, yeah, but their lives are over. They'll either, get pardoned, with these death penalties becoming legal and illegal or whatever, and still have to do a full life term. But any way you look at it, they're never coming home. There's no chance whatsoever. And nothing's been done to assist them, assist their families, nothing like that. There's been requests to let them gentlemen have a small portion, of a regiment on the streets to better their, standard of living inside of death row. And it's been denied from what I understand from, really reliable sources. And this is an example, you guys, of, being in these organizations and giving them your all and, running down for years and years and years and doing everything like you're taught, everything like you're supposed to, setting the example that they want you to set. And fulfilling your obligations and taking care of business. And now look where they are. There's nothing going on for these men. And I don't understand it. And I want this, these listeners to understand, like these are super soldiers, bro. They were with the business, straight with the business. There's no play in these guys.
And after the heart.
And this is the reward they got. And, let this be an example, man. These are some of the most important people that we have. And look what happens. And think about, oh, I want to join this. Think again.
Yeah, I used to talk to Bobby Silent Lopez's wife, J-Lo. She took me to a couple of juntas. She did her part. And what used to trip me out is these brothers, man, they made the ultimate sacrifice, man. I think they committed anywhere from 7 to 11 murders at that time. They all got indicted. They all held their mug. Yet they were right there in AC, and the only ones that were taking care of these brothers were their families. There was requests for regiments to be established for them to be able to generate money to support themselves. that was shot done. You know what I mean? And it just doesn't make no sense to me. And this, for the viewers out there, man, like, these were good dudes, eh? Solid, very educated, put in a lot of work.
A lot of work.
You know, and for these individuals to be left out there to their own devices, no one assisting them, it says a lot about this organization, man. You know, you got to take care of your own. The whole purpose is to be self-supportive, to be able to financially take care of every member within this organization.
Yeah.
Now, once these guys made that sacrifice, held their mug, went to trial, did what they did, they couldn't even get the respect or honor for the sacrifices they made. I mean, there was even situations to where there was a few Norteños that came off the 6-yard, Gonzo from Livermore, Nicoya from San Fran, Listo from Santa Rosa, and a few others. They got sent back there, and these C's took a liking to them. They started indoctrinating them to the NF Constitution and recruited them, submitted their names to the Bay, and the Bay didn't even acknowledge their recruitments.
Yeah, you know, I mean, these guys, I mean, they should automatically be taken care of. You know, there's no ifs, ands, or buts, you know, according to our laws and all the things that we stand for, and, you know, taking care of one another, and especially under these circumstances, you know, you're going to be away a long time. You know, I mean, look at it like this. What if these guys would have had foresight into, you know, what was going to happen, that they were going to be totally abandoned? Would they have held their mud and took it all the way to trial? You know what I mean? It's like, you know, they did that in blind faith that, you know, they'd be looked after and such, whatever. Man, they didn't even have a chance to really defend themselves, man. And, man, they might be looking at a different outcome. They might be able to hit the streets one day, but their loyalty to the organization, you know, forbid them from speaking, you know, on their own behalf at trial, or, you know, trying to cop a plea bargain of some sort. And they blindly took their dedication all the way and put it in the hands of the jury. And here they are. I mean, the state won their case, and then, you know, so they lost, and then they're losing again from their own people, which I can't even imagine how them dudes feel back there after all they've done and what's happened to them, you know?
I mean, look at the situation with Spankio. Rumors have it that he took a hot shot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? How would you feel like, bro, I put this question out to you. You commit yourself to this organization. You did everything that was expected of you. You fucking committed murders. Right? Lost friends. Silent even killed his own wife for the organization.
Yeah, no doubt.
You know? How would you feel after making all these sacrifices to just be left on your own? Just to be excommunicated from the organization? I mean, what type of example is that to set for others?
Well, to tell you the truth, man, I'd feel so disrespected. I'd feel obligated to get my runbacks. You know, you already got life, or excuse me, you're already on death row. What do you got to lose, man? It's like, God, that's like a reversed act of desertion. That's deserting by the organization, in my opinion. You know, there's no way that should have ever happened. And, you know, I've gone over this for years in my head and tried to figure out what it could be. I mean, maybe I don't know something. You know what I mean? That's the only way that I could defend these actions is, well, maybe that there's something that I just don't quite know, that I never heard, and there's a reason for it. But in all honesty, man, I think all it boils down to is cash. It's like, no, we don't want to lose this share to these individuals. They're never going to get out of the adjustment center. They're never going to leave East Block, you know, out of sight, out of mind kind of thing. And that goes all the way against the sense of family, carnalismo, etc.
Now, Rojo, with all these regiments out there, right? At any given time in Northern California, we could have anywhere from like 30 to 50 regiments, small crews and everything. You're going to tell me that the organization couldn't give one of these regiments up just to give a small, substantial amount of money? It could be even $500 a month could be helping these brothers out.
Yeah.
A small crew. They could be having like 5 soldados who are doing legitimate things, who just want to contribute monthly, take care of these brothers and their family. You're going to tell me that they have done nothing to assist these brothers?
Not to my knowledge, man. I don't know what they can go to the store every month in death row. I think it was $70 when I was there back when AdSeg used to be able to draw 35. But they might be able to go 140 actually. I'm not even sure. But either way, if they could go 140 a month times only 2 members, now that's 280. I mean, you're telling me that just to help these brothers monthly with their canteen, out of all the tens of thousands of dollars, like we've discussed in the past, there's yards right now making $10,000 a month, single yards. You can't reallocate $280. I mean, how about putting some money on the phone for when they make collect calls? What is that? Another $50 each? Like he said, $500, man. These dudes done everything by the book for years, never debriefed, never told, refused this and that and this and that could have helped themselves. And now they're just sitting there, bro, broke. You know what I mean? Unless their family's taking care of them, they're getting nothing from our family.
So I'm a firm believer, bro. You know, from my past beliefs, these are the brothers you'd want to take care of. These are the ones that should be getting that $2,000, $5,000 a month to take care of their families. They made that ultimate sacrifice. You know, and just to be left that to where their own family members are taking care of them, it's a damn disgrace, bro. I mean, I'm a little emotional about that because I knew some of these brothers' family members. I knew J-Lo, who's married to Bobby Lopez, and she would do all she could to assist us out there, take us to juntas, all kinds of stuff, babe. You know what I mean? Put us in contact with whoever. And she was still out there struggling, man. You know, if ever there was certain carnals that should be embraced and given that love, it was these brothers. You know, not the brothers that caught the case out there in the 70s, you know, where they were doing time. I mean, those are sacrifices that need to be made. They're making their ends. But these brothers, man, they made the ultimate sacrifice, you know what I mean? Putting in work that was given at the direction of them. From my understanding, it was Pinky that was putting all these green lights on everybody at that time. You know what I mean? As a street regiment general at the time. You know, now these dudes are doing life, death row, and no one's taking care of them, man. And I don't know anything that's changed because of that.
Yeah, me neither. You know what would be cool to see is if, man, them federal boys decided to go ahead and step up and take care of that. Because somebody needs to, really. You know, if you're an active member of that group still, and there's no reason that I don't know or Flacco don't know or 20 other C's that we know, if we're missing something, which I don't think so, it would have came to light by now. There's no reason that they shouldn't be taken care of. I mean, it's.
Well, we're making all this money, right, for them, right?
Yeah.
For Corny, yeah, Tibbs, and Pinky to play the stock market, while these brothers are on death row,
hungry,
can't
use the phone.
Well, they get to use the phone every once in a while, but they're limited to their privileges and incentives. Yeah. It's sad, man.
Yeah, no, I agree, bro. I don't know what the justification is, man. If there's anybody out there, active or not active, that might know more about this, please say something in the comments, man. But you know, I kind of lightweight have been poking around at this issue for years, and there's nothing that I could come up with that would justify this desertion of these dudes. And I used to try to take care of them when I was in East Block, when I was overall at San Quentin, and I would send in some things and make sure that they were all right. And you know, it was an elaborate process doing it, but it got done. You know what I mean? And that was just something I chose to do by myself. That wasn't something that I was instructed to do, because we had some guys go from East Block to AdSeg and kind of get to know, you know, a few of them dudes and, you know, let us know their situation over there. And it's like, man, they're over there like that, you know. So I made sure they had some money to work with, you know, and, you know, some females to write them. You know, there was a couple little things that, you know, I accomplished for them, you know, that some of them I can't talk about really. But, yeah, I mean, I don't understand, you know, if I can make the effort and go out of my own pocket personally as an individual to do this, like, why isn't it being done on a greater scale by their supposed brothers?
Did you ever bring this up when you were in the Bay?
No, this happened after I was already, when I went back to the Bay after this trip to San Quentin, where I'm talking about, I didn't really run into nobody. I was the block commander in C10, so I wasn't really in there able to communicate freely with any of the bigwigs. So that was just like a decision I did myself, and I'm not trying to sit here and be like, hey, I did this, I did that. But man, that's just what I would do for anybody. I mean, it doesn't matter like if you're NF, NR, or Northerner. If you're one of my people and you're struggling and I got it or I have the means to get it to you, that's exactly what I'm going to do.
This is a lot about you, Rojo. And for the listeners out there, this is something that you need to understand. For the so-called norteño soldado on the street, with a northern gangbanger, that's ready to put in some work. If this organization does not care about 3 brothers that paid the ultimate sacrifice, got put on death row for their sacrifices, what makes them think that they're going to care about you?
Yeah, good luck.
You're expendable.
Yeah, that's like fishing in a swimming pool. Yeah.
I know this from fast because I was in contact with a few of their wives, their family members, and it was a disgrace. And for me as a young soldado, I was around a good sea at one time when I was in Corcoran. Carlos Terrazas, Carlitos, one of the most righteous NF members I've ever met. He really cared about the gente. Whether you were a Northern, Norteño, or an NF member, he treated everybody the same, made sure everybody was taken care of. And you don't see this from the organization. As soon as you're no longer beneficial to them, out of sight, out of mind. So what makes you think that they're going to care about you? When you're out there requesting, hey, go hit this dropout in the streets. We need to fucking whack some dude. You know what I mean? Hey, take this on the chin.
Yeah, you can't even question it.
You even had an NR member who tried to sit there and take the responsibility for doing hits for Lencho, saying that he's the one that ordered them. Making that sacrifice. Where's Lencho's status now? Oh yeah, he's no good. So these are things for the viewers to listen to. We are our own worst enemy.
Yeah, I see a lot of people in the comments, on our page and on other pages talking about how we walked away and we should be ashamed and this and that. You're entitled to your opinion, but I could give you another 50 stories like this one where the right thing to do is walk away because what they're preaching, they're not practicing. There's no loyalty, man. Like Flacco said, once you're not a very, very good asset, if you're functioning and you're doing okay, you're expendable. If you're really, really producing, man, you're going to be protected. But when you need somebody, there's nobody to be found. And that's Norteño, Hermano, Familiano. It doesn't matter, man, unless you're part of a very, very elite circle like Cat 3s, and Cat 3s that are liked by the rest of them. Oh, man, you're just not going to have anything coming no matter what you seem to think or no matter how much you think you've done for the organization or how righteous the cause is. You're fooling yourself.
Even in certain facilities, it used to get me mad, right? Because I was an RSD and RA of certain prisons, right? And when soldados would be prepared to parole, right? Bond 13, strongly encouraged the A2 soldados behind the wall. You know what names we were always providing? NF members.
Yeah.
And to me, I used to get mad because I felt like the organization should already be taking care of these people. We should be aiding those who have made sacrifices. We had homeboys that were sitting on walk alone facing DA charges for doing pegadas, right? And instead of sending them money, we were picking 2 NF members already there at that facility.
Yeah. The way I would do it, man, if it was up to me, is I'd go by the amount of time you got. No matter your rank, of course, as an NF member, you're going to want to see your brothers taken care of over other people. Not that we're better than anybody or whatever, but we're part of a select group. So we're going to take care of each other first. But, if you're let's just go by the chain of command I know. If you're NF, NR, or a strong Norteño, if you have a lot of time and if you've done some real recognizable things, no matter your rank or status, you should be looked out for, man. If you got 40 years, you should be number 1. You got 32, 23, and so on and so forth, to take the strain off these people's families because they're in there and they got this extra time for us. And we need to show them the respect that they have coming.
Well, it's kind of sad, right? Because I've seen numerous times, right? San Quentin, 2002. Willow from Sanjo. Top from Vallejo. They removed George Lucky Mendoza, an NF member. The hit was sanctioned by Skip over a personal vendetta between Lucky and a guy named Pony that was in the feds. Pony ended up being Skip's boy. These soldados did the pegada, removed this dude, right? Neither one of them were going to the store. But you know what names I was sent to request for them to reach back in A2 fellow soldados?
What names?
2 NF members.
Of course.
Why these homeboys had nothing. Why they were in the walk-alone cages. Why they were in the cell all day. You know what I mean? And it was kind of a disgrace to me. Like, look, these are the first individuals that should be looked after. They put in the work. They made the sacrifices. These 2 NF members should be already being taken care of the organization.
By the main bank.
So this bond 13 requirement, why don't we let the in-soldados that are pro and take care of these in-soldados? I just get mad about that.
Yeah. You should be able to pick who you're going to take care of, you know?
You know?
Well, I mean, once you obligate yourself to do that, you should, you know, or I mean, I know it gets hard out on the street sometimes, and sometimes, hey, things can't happen. But when you have the ability to do something and you man up and give your word that, hey, I'm going to take care of this, man, you always got to try to fulfill that, man. Because it's not like, you know, you're just talking loud, saying nothing. We don't want that, man. We need that help. You know, we're stuck back in here. We've done these things, and you're going out. If you raise your hand, you should take care of people. But at the same time, you should be allowed to take care of people who really, really need it too.
Those that make the sacrifice come first.
Yeah, I agree.
You know what I mean? The NF Bank should be able to take care of all these other NF members, regardless. One thing is the system. That's the whole purpose of the Constitution, to be self-supportive. But yet, we use this Bond 13. I was there numerous times as RA. These are the 2 names you're sent out to help out. Lencho, DB, Gaha. Why isn't the organization taking care of these people? It used to piss me off. I used to question it. Because I was around a good NF member named Carlitos. Carlitos didn't care what you were. He would take care of any Northerners, Norteños. We all ate.
Yeah. No, that's how it's supposed to be. He was doing it right. Right on YouTube. This has been an example, man, of some of the things that you might encounter if you want to join this gang life. You know, it's all fine and dandy. You'll go, you'll put in that work. You're on a main line. You got access at eating and stuff. Man, but when you get to them holes, you get to them shoe programs, you end up on death row. And, you know, you're not in somebody's face every day to remind them that you're there. Man, you're a ghost.
And then you got to worry about dancing people looking at you.
Yeah, that's always one of the negative things that come across, man. All right, ladies and gentlemen, man, this will wrap it up on this one, man. If you have any questions, comments, go ahead and put them down there in the questions section. And please hit that like and subscribe. It's the Convicts Perspective. Your boy Rojo, I'm out.
It's Flacco, I'm out, bro.